I did want to talk about Disney Plus because obviously we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian, but I wanted to talk about the service itself because obviously this is a big event in the streaming wars. Um, Disney Plus came out on Tuesday, the day after Veterans Day. I'm kind of curious about what your experience has been on Disney Plus thus far.
My experiences so far on Disney Plus have been positive. I know some people are having login and different kinds of issues. I haven't experienced any of that. Now, I was not trying to get on Disney Plus when everyone else was doing it, though, because I have stuff I'm doing, work commitments. You know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't trying to get on Disney Plus as it was launching like everyone else was. I didn't even completely finish signing up until like late Tuesday night, actually. And then the first thing I watched was The Mandalorian. So far, I haven't had a lot of issues. I watched Mandalorian. I watched some classic Spider-Man cartoons. I was excited about that. I verified the Cat from Outer Space is actually on Disney Plus. I will be watching it. I did a lot of searching to see what other things were on there. I was surprised to see the original Disney Zorro film from the 50s is on there. A lot of the Davy Crockett content that I watched as a kid is on there. Black Hole is on there. So I haven't had really any issues with it at all. And I'm excited personally and professionally because there's a lot of movies and shows and things I would have liked to have talked about that I felt like was going to be lost to time that no one was bothering to maintain. So, for example, both of us, we could do a show about the black hole. We could do a retrospective about the black hole. It's one of my favorite science fiction films. And we can actually tell people where to go see it, and right. And I actually watched part of it the other night. The quality is really good. The sound's really good. I mean, it's a good way to experience that film. I haven't had a lot of issues with the interface. For myself personally, I feel like it's pretty well designed. I haven't had a lot of issues. So far, all my experiences with Disney Plus have been positive. I don't have a lot of gripes with Disney Plus. I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far.
That's good. My experience has been a little bit different. So I
know you texted a little bit about it. I'm curious to hear.
So I did try to do Disney Plus basically at launch. Like I think it came out at 3 a.m. our time, Arizona time is when it actually launched. It actually was live. And that morning I woke up around 6 in the morning because I had to take my kids to school. And I had talked to my kids about Disney Plus and the idea that we were going to do the free trial because right now everybody's getting Disney Plus for free right now. That's important to realize. Whether you if you signed up for it, you're still getting it free for 7 days. So I discussed it with my kids and we were kind of excited about it. We kind of got excited about, let's check this out. So I was like, okay, it should be live in the morning by the time we get up. And my kids usually, they finish up with what they have to do, getting dressed. They finish up eating and stuff like that before we actually have to leave. And they'll usually put the TV on and watch like a YouTube video or something. And so this time we were going to watch Disney Plus. I had it all set up. The thing was that I was concerned from the night previous that the app wasn't available anywhere. So I do most of my streaming on my PlayStation 4. And I was really concerned that I went to the PlayStation store and there was no Disney Plus app. And I was like, so the app's not going to be available until the launch? I was like, really? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, and my thinking was like, you should have the app available already so that people can start kind of playing around with it and seeing what the format is so they can kind of find the shows and things like that. Even if the shows don't go anywhere, they don't work, or maybe they just go to trailers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some sort of a soft opening. That's what I'm talking about. And it was funny because I was concerned about this going to bed the night before. I was like, is this going to work? And sure enough, it didn't work. When I woke up in the morning, the app was available. So I downloaded the app and it didn't work. It just did not work on the PlayStation 4. So that was disappointing. So my kids didn't get to see anything before school or anything like that. And I was just like, okay, well, hopefully by the time I get back home, it'll be working. So I ended up, doing some errands and things like that. And I got home, I think around 10:30. And when I got home, I was like, okay, let's try this. And nothing worked except The Mandalorian.
Hmm.
The Mandalorian was the only show that I could get to work. So I was like, well, that's good, at least, because we had talked that we were going to review it. So I was like, well, that's good. At least I can see The Mandalorian. So I watched The Mandalorian, and it was skipping all over the place.
Oh.
It was skipping. It was stopping. It was having all sorts of issues. I was able to get through it, but I was irritated. And, after the show was over, I tried to see if anything else was working. And it was still like, I think, another hour or two before I could actually look at anything else. So I do want to say that I realized that this was a huge undertaking that Disney did, but I really think that they kind of screwed up with the launch with day one is what I'm talking about. As of today, I haven't really used Disney Plus very much, but yesterday I was still having skipping issues and issues where videos were stopping in the middle. They would repeat. Like what would happen was it would kind of hiccup where they would basically like stop and then they would go back like a minute back in the video and replay it, and then it would start going from there. So I've been having some issues on the PlayStation 4. That's where I watch most of my streaming content. I've been having issues on the PlayStation 4 with Disney Plus. Now, as far as the content goes, this is another thing that I had wanted to talk to you about. So I'm curious. You mentioned about so many of the titles that you're excited about, and there are a lot of amazing titles available on the service. And that's one of the first things I did was I went to the series tab and I kind of looked at everything, and I went to the movies tab and I kind of looked at everything. I don't think their content is anywhere near what Netflix is. I don't know what the numbers are. That wasn't something that I was able to find out. Do you have any idea what their numbers are as far as actual content?
No, I don't know. I mean, I know that they don't have the volume of content that Netflix has, but for me, in all honesty, there's a lot of stuff on Netflix I'm not going to watch, So I guess there's just a lot of content that I have had to go. For example, like here's a good example: Spider-Man cartoons. Okay, this is a good example. I don't know why they don't have the '60s Spider-Man cartoons on here, so I assume there's some kind of rights issue or something, because that's a classic Marvel cartoon that I had hoped they were going to have on the service that they don't. Hopefully they'll get it eventually.
That's one that stood out to me too, by the way.
Right. But they still have Amazing Spider-Man. They still have Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. They still have a lot. They've got the X-Men 90s cartoon. They have a lot of those shows, those cartoon shows that I had been wanting to watch. And then prior to this, I've had to go to all manner of strange extremes just to watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That's not been an easy show to just watch. At one point, it was on Netflix and it was easy to watch, and then it went off of Netflix, and ever since then, it's been hard to run down where it was.
I was very excited to see Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That was my bread and butter growing up.
And so for me, that's the thing that has me excited. There's a lot of stuff that I've wanted to read. For example, it's not the world's greatest movie, but The Cat from Outer Space. I've wanted to rewatch that movie for years and years and years, and have never been able to find a simple way to watch it. And it's one of those films I thought, because Disney has never made, making that film available a priority. So I just assumed at one point, that it would just be a memory I had, and you'd never be able to watch it again. So there's a lot of fun things like that they have on here. And there's a lot of things I haven't seen in a very long time. Like, as a kid, I enjoyed the Davy Crockett movies, and I'm excited to go back and watch some of those, because there's a lot of nostalgia for me, with a lot of those titles, because I grew up with a lot of that content. So that's why I'm excited about it. It doesn't have, for example, I pay for CBS All Access for Star Trek Discovery. That's the main reason I pay for that. Micah, my wife, likes watching, Survivor. She's watching Survivor right now while we're recording the show, So there's other things that we watch on CBS All Access. But the reason I have a subscription to it is for Star Trek Discovery. So I don't have any issues if the content is good and it's something I want to watch. I'll subscribe to a service to watch just that one show. That's me. I'm a psychopath. There's a lot of content on here I'm excited about. There's some of the Marvel movies that I've wanted to buy and I've just been dragging my feet to buy that now I don't have to worry with buying. They're all on here. So, and there's a lot of stuff I've wanted to rewatch that I've only seen once or twice. Some of the Pixar movies like Brave. I wanted to rewatch Brave, but it wasn't something I was going to rush out and buy, but I was curious to watch it again. I'm going to be able to watch it again now. So even though the content is not as great in terms of, volume, they do have a lot of, premium content that people sometimes will subscribe to a service, for. And I applaud them for having as much, for example, of those classic Marvel cartoons as they have available. I mean, that's a pretty good library of content. I mean, especially when you see that they actually have Spider-Woman on there. Spider-Woman, I think the last time I was able to actually easily watch a Spider-Woman cartoon, it was a VHS tape that I put into a player. That was the last time I easily knew how to watch Spider-Woman. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, I think I had seen where in certain countries, I don't know what the deal is with the Hulk. Let me put that out there. There's something going on with the Hulk. I don't know what the deal is with it. But I know in certain countries they were able to watch the 80s Hulk cartoons, and they don't appear to be on Disney Plus. That kind of sucks. I was hoping they were going to be on here. But beyond a few things here and there.
What is
like
the Hulk cartoon that's available there? Because there is a Hulk cartoon available on Disney Plus, isn't there?
Yeah, that's the one from the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have all the 90s Fox stuff that Fox created. They've got, that Avengers, that Ant-Man led Avengers cartoon. They've got the Iron Man. They've got Spider-Man Unlimited. That's a show that I enjoyed that I never really finished. I'm excited to be able to go back and rewatch a lot of that. So they've got a lot of fun stuff on here, and I'm very excited about it. But the Hulk cartoon I'm talking about is the one from the 80s. I would go to YouTube and find it and tell you to share my screen so we could watch it, but it would probably get this pulled down in the middle of the night. So we're not going to do that because Hulk is something you have to stay away from when it comes to YouTube. Maybe that's why Disney Plus doesn't have it on their service. They don't want to get their ads and whatever pulled off of YouTube because they have Hulk content. But no, it's just it has one of the best intros, I think, of all the animated cartoons. I'll send you something about it after we finish the show so you can see it. But
I remember the 80s Hulk cartoon that basically ran at the same time as Spider-Man: His Amazing Friends, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch that all the time. So yeah, I was kind of hoping that would be on there. So that's disappointing. But the one that's the ones that stick out to me, and you're probably going to find this amusing, is where's droids and where's Ewoks and where's the battle for Endor and all that stuff.
Yeah, I had a conversation at work about that. I was surprised that a lot of the Ewok TV movie stuff wasn't on here, because I was for sure that would be on here because that content was being created at the same time I think Star Tours originally opened. So I was kind of surprised that stuff's not on here. I mean, I get the holiday special not being on here.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, why isn't the holiday special on there? What do you mean you get it? I don't get that. Where is the holiday special?
I get that that's not on here.
We need the holiday special on Disney Plus. We should be advocating for that. We should be demanding it.
I'm not going to demand for it, but if you want to pull the Boba Fett cartoon out of there and put that on Disney Plus, I'll champion that. But I don't need to see the lady from Golden Girls running a cantina. But that's just me. But no, I mean,
Hey, it's still better than the Last Jedi. So,
well, that's yeah. Um, but here's the thing. I'm still happy and excited with the content they were able to put on here. I think there's going to, as contracts run out, I think more and more content is going to become live on Disney Plus. So I think I'm pretty sure Disney wants to be a player in this space. It's pretty obvious they've made a heavy investment. And I think it's going to continue to improve. And I think more stuff will become available as, like I said, the rights issues and contracts and stuff get resolved. We'll get more and more content on here. And I'm just excited the idea that there is a hub where I can go to where I can find a bunch of these classic Marvel cartoons that I've always enjoyed watching. And like I said, as we review and talk about some of this content on the show, it's great that we have an easy place that we can tell people, if you have Disney Plus, you can watch it there. So,
and it is free right now. Like as I mentioned, no matter who you are, it's free for 7 days. So I'm kind of happy that within the free window, I can see 2 episodes of The Mandalorian to really make me decide how I feel about the show, which of course we're going to really delve into that a little bit later. But I do wonder why Droids isn't there and why Ewoks isn't there. I've never heard some sort of rights issue. I mean, I know that they've never been fully released. Like I have the Droids DVD that was released years and years and years ago, and it has like, I think 2 or 3 episodes on it. They're edited episodes. They're mega episodes that were edited together. So it's not even presented in the correct format. It's not presented like it was when it was broadcast. They also got rid of the song. The theme song is taken out.
Right.
Because I know that there was a rights issue there because it was the drummer from the Police, right? He was the one who did the theme song, so he probably don't want to pay him, because he probably got a pretty good deal to do that.
Yeah,
So,
all I can figure is because I think Nelvana produced a lot of those cartoons, and they were based out of Canada. So all I can assume is it's some kind of weird tangled rights issue, and whoever. Sometimes I wonder if like people own this stuff and they don't even realize they own it, and they're sitting on something by accident because they don't realize that their company owns the rights to whatever it is because of some merger or some buyout thing. And there's some weird asset they have that's a line on a form somewhere and they don't realize, oh, we own Ewoks. What do you know? So that's all I can figure.
Music is an infamous problem. I know that. For instance, the Star Trek cartoon didn't have any of the original music in it because they didn't want to pay the people that did the live action show their rates. You know what I mean? So it was all new music. It's a different theme, everything. So I know that becomes an issue sometimes, and that's my best speculation about why they wouldn't put it on there, because it's completed content. So why not just put it there? It's stuff that I would like to see. I'm sure there's other people that would like to see it. I would like to show my kids, some of that stuff. So I find it weird that they didn't put it on there. And then with the Ewok movies, those were released on DVD. And so I'm kind of really, that one really is like a head scratcher for me. It's like, why wouldn't you put, Caravan of Courage and The Battle for Endor on Disney Plus? I mean, they're done, so why not just throw them on there? So,
right.
I don't quite understand that. I don't know. It's kind of the thing with Disney. I also noticed that the way that the marketing for Disney Plus, they mentioned that essentially it's almost like 4 channels or 5 channels where it's Disney, Pixar, what are the other ones? Disney, Pixar, Marvel Studios, National Geographic, and Lucasfilm. But when you actually go on the site, there's no Lucasfilm tab. There's just a Star Wars tab. Do you notice that?
Right. Yeah.
So there's no Indiana Jones. There's no, I don't know what other content they have. I don't know. Does Disney have the rights to like American Graffiti and THX and stuff like that?
Well, they may have the rights because of the deal with Fox, they probably do have the rights to those. but it gets into that weird nebulous thing about, do they consider that, Disney Plus fair? Like, do they want that to be considered, just straight Disney content?
But the thing is, even on Disney Plus, there's a Disney tab, but then there's these other tabs. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I get it.
So officially speaking, Star Wars still has its own tab. It's not officially Disney. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So even within their Disney Plus system, I'm just curious why they went with the Star Wars tab when the marketing said Lucasfilm and the company is Lucasfilm, right? The
Right.
company is a subsidiary of Disney, but it's a separate studio, quote unquote.
Well, and I think, and to be honest, I think it goes back to the fact that there is content that's under the Lucasfilm banner that they probably don't have yet. They don't have the full rights to.
They don't have Indiana Jones?
Yep. Yeah, there's some kind of something that has Indiana Jones tied up somewhere. And that's why Indy and the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, all that stuff is not on Disney Plus.
But it is on Netflix, isn't it?
Right. And I think that's the deal. I think Netflix, for example, like Netflix has the rights to Last Jedi. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand how they sign these deals that have such weird specific things tied up. Like, oh, we got the rights to everything but this movie. So That's kind of weird. I don't understand how you negotiate that deal. But anyhow, I know that Indiana Jones is not really on Disney Plus yet because there's some rights issues and some of that content is tied up. But, go ahead.
I said, that's interesting.
Yeah. And so once that for example, some people at work, at my day job, and most people know I have a day job in addition to drawing comics and stuff. At my current day job, the guy who owns the company is a big fan of the movie Cool Runnings, and he's always referencing it. He references it quite a bit, kind of like how I reference Roadhouse when we're discussing how to handle something in the shop. I always go back to the rules of Roadhouse. Never start anything inside the bar. Always take it outside. All that kind of stuff. I always quote Roadhouse when we're having issues with stuff because it feels like that's the best way to handle it. He's always referencing Cool Runnings, and Cool Runnings is a classic Disney movie that's actually beloved by a lot of people. You cannot watch Cool Runnings right now on Disney Plus because the rights are tied up and it won't arrive until sometime in January of 2020. That's clearly a Disney movie. Right. And someone thought enough of Cool Runnings to tie it up. So it's not on Disney Plus yet. So eventually a lot of this, their content, like I said, as these contracts roll out, the content's going to grow. I feel like for an initial launch, especially when you consider that a lot of us right now are being able to take advantage of a free trial, I think it's pretty decent, in my opinion. I've been, like I said, I haven't had a lot of the issues that you had with streaming and watching the content. I've just been able to watch it and enjoy it, and I've been very pleased with what I've seen.
How do you watch it? What device are you using?
Well, I've been watching it two different ways. One of them is on my Samsung Galaxy phone. I would tell you what version it is, but I can never remember. But I've been watching it on my phone, and then we have on our Samsung smart television. There's that. So I'm able to watch it on that as well through the regular TV interface. I was able to download the app, you know what I mean, and watch it through that.
All right. Are we okay?
Yeah, I had another slowdown. We have a comment on Facebook.
Yeah, I was trying to respond to that comment as well because we are getting ready to talk about The Mandalorian.
Yeah. That's Stephen Reed. He's a big friend of the show, and Stephen Reed has actually been on the Retro Retrospective. He co-hosted on. Let's see. We did Tarzan, the Filmation Tarzan. We did Brave Star, and we did Flash Gordon, both the Filmation television series and also the film, which that Flash Gordon. Now, there's a piece of content I wish one of these streaming services would get the rights to and preserve. That Flash Gordon animated film that Filmation did is fantastic. It is probably I love the Sam Jones, live action movie, but that animated film that Filmation did is amazing. And it should be preserved, and it should be on a service where people can discover and watch it, because that animated film is amazing.
Yeah, I remember it as well, but I only saw it as a kid, so it's kind of one of those buried memories,
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like I am excited about where Disney Plus is going. I will mention that I was a little disappointed about some of the classic cartoons that don't seem to be there, because there's a huge number of classic Disney cartoons. Old Goofy, Donald Duck, all that kind of stuff. It's just not there. Ironically, they came out the day after Veterans Day, and I would love to see some of those old propaganda films. Like Donald Duck joining the army and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's not there. I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like that stuff should be there. This is Disney Plus. This is supposed to be the source of Disney material, and it's not there. So I wonder sometimes if it's a political decision. Obviously, Song of the South isn't there for political reasons, right?
Right.
And that's a movie that I remember fondly as a child. I'd actually be interested to see it as an adult, and I am an adult, so I think I should be able to watch it and make up my own mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
So things like that they I won't say it necessarily irks me. Like I understand some of it, but some of it I don't. Like, to me, it would be a no-brainer to put all the Disney Goes to War stuff, put it on there. They came out the day after Veterans Day. Why is that content available? Why not even in a special tab? Just so people can see all that stuff, because it actually has historic value. So I would love to see more of that stuff, and I question why I'm not.
Right.